Hi Fairview, Pastor TJ here, and I have some special guests today to be able to share their story in the storm. But you may be looking at me a little bit weird in the sense of, what is that attire? I apologize because I did not give the Kockritz family the heads up to wear their attire, but it is a special time that we are having the NFL draft this weekend, and so I just wanted to support our team and took some notes. I was told by one of our lead ushers, I'm glad to have John and Joanna back in town, that I can wear a jersey under my blazer, and so I'm taking cues from that. And people back in Boise who also said go Hawks, so my buddy Louie. So I'm excited that we have you guys here. So why don't you just tell our church family and those that are out watching right now a little bit about yourself. Introduction.
Okay, I'm Bill Kockritz, or better known here as Mr. Bill with all the kids. That's my wife Janet. Well, let her introduce herself.
There you go.
Oh, well, I'm Janet Kockritz, and we've been coming here for, well, I've been coming here for how many years? Lots of years, 60 years. And he's been coming here ever since we met, which was in 1969. So.
68. That's okay.
69.
I love the both of you. This is fun. So,
Yeah.
part of this, as we've kind of went into this storm, this has just meant so many different things. And I know last week we said thank you to Betty and Gary because they had a different perspective in the midst of the storm. They haven't been changed very much, besides, like we talked about, some of the procedures that they need to go through to continue that. But they are just continuing on with the day-to-day part, but I think that's been a little bit different with you guys. So kind of my first question is, normal day-to-day life, how has COVID impacted you? We'll start with you first, Janet.
Okay, well, I have been working 2 days a week, which is great for me because that still gives me time to keep up the house and do nothing if I want to. So it was really hard because people depend on me. And I take my job very seriously, and I know people depend on me. And I feel bad because I work in a retirement home in the salon, and some of those people can't even wash their own hair. So I'm better now because I've prayed for peace, but at first I was really upset, feeling bad for them, but it's out of my hands. So anyway, I'm home, and the only place I go is maybe to the store once in a while, out in the yard. We have we have almost 2 acres, so we have a big place for a big fire pit. And so we have had some people come over and sit with our distance around the fire pit. So that's been nice. Some contact with some people, and yeah.
Well, that's good. And it's come in handy for Mr. Bill, as he said. He's got a chance to get his ears lowered or get a trim from you, so it works out well for him.
Yeah.
I know that I've been going through Zoom calls like crazy, and I see people just looking like, man, I need a haircut. In fact, Jim Lyons, I was on with him, and all he's been wearing is like a beanie every time I see him.
I know.
And so your services, and it's not just that that's your job. Like you said, you take that seriously because that's a ministry for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's impacted you. What about you, Mr. Bill? How has this COVID changed your day-to-day life?
Well, I've probably got the cleanest hands I've ever had in 50 years because it's constantly, where's your hands? Greet the kids in the morning. Everybody wants a high five, even though, so we got the hand cleaner down there for us. The kids have to wash their hands. I take their temperature. So it's, that's good. That hasn't changed. I enjoy that. And then just everyday stuff around here.
But there's just a lot less kids.
A lot less kids, but there's still, kids are glad to see us.
Yeah.
It's something stable in their lives. They know something's going on, but I don't think they can grasp what's happening. But it's some stability. The kids that are here is stability in their lives. And the staff is real good with them.
Yeah.
Now, some of the positives, there's only one positive about this. The traffic is non-existent. I mean, prior to this, it's 45-minute drive down here every day. That's on a good day.
Wow.
Now I could be down there in about 25, 30 minutes if I want to push it.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there. But there's a lot of people hurting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, there's a couple of different things. And I know that the kiddos, we've been open here with the Child Center. And so you've been a part of that ministry and opening up. And you alluded to some of those other things that we've had to do, which seems weird for the time. Like, you know, in the morning, scanning people, like taking their temperature before they can even come on the premises.
Yeah. Parents and kids. And we have several parents that work in healthcare. And they screen them at home. But the kids will line right up and they want to get touched with that thermometer. They want to see it turn green. So anyway, it works well.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we do here quite a bit, when all you people get to come back, you're going to notice that some of our handrails are a different color now because we use so much bleach stuff wiping stuff down. I mean, we do it in the morning, and Edwin does it in the afternoon, and so cleaning this place is, so.
Yeah, it's a lot, like you said, your hands. It's as clean as probably it's been in the last bit.
So we can keep it that way.
Yeah, I think that that's been paramount for us to stay open, to be able to continue to meet people at their point of need. And you get the fun part of hearing the ministry that's taking place in the building. You get to hear the feedback from the parents and some of those things that they're saying, thank you for being open, and you get to play a role in that. So I'm grateful for that, and I'm glad that you have Janet to help support you to go home to. So,
That's good.
What things have you had to give up during this time? What's normal for the Cockritzes, and maybe not just for the church family, but realizing that during this time we've probably had some other people. What do you guys have to give up?
Well, the biggest thing I see is I can't take her out to dinner. I mean, we go to pizza once in a while, you go to Domino's, but that's not very often, but she's cooked.
Which I normally do anyway, but it's nice at the last minute to say, oh, let's go have Chinese, or, you know, and I know you can go get that to take out, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
But the get-togethers with the family, I mean, our granddaughter just moved to Montana.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to do a drive-by, you know, where we actually lined up 2 or 3 cars, the other daughter and some other people, drove by the house.
to say goodbye.
To say goodbye, wave.
Couldn't hug her, you know.
And then, and then shopping for my 93-year-old mother. She's in not a nursing home, she's in a shag
Senior housing.
senior housing. They have been locked down in there for going on 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they don't even get to visit other people in the unit, supposedly. So it's pretty hard on her, so
And she seems to want things a lot.
every
Like,
Saturday.
today I need a prescription. The next day I need milk, or, you know, it's like, could we combine those things?
I think
she's lonesome.
She just wants to see us.
I get it.
Or
I get
something.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we've been shopping for her, yeah.
Oh.
So that's different.
Anything else that you want to add, Janet, about that you kind of had given up, or?
No, just my job,
Yeah.
which is important to me. I mean, you know, yeah.
And what things have you had to add? You kind of touched on some of those as far as your duties around here, but
I would say to add is to, shop for my mother and, you know, any other type of errand we gotta run for somebody.
I haven't really, I can't really think of anything that we've had to add, other than wearing a mask when you go to the store.
Gloves.
Gloves and masks, we've done all that. Go to Costco where everybody's masked up. Look, some people still aren't, but I give them the stink eye.
absolutely. Well, it's, you know, it's so tough to have an interview with one on there
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But we do, you know, last week I had one of my shoes untied because I was looking down at the tape
Oh.
lines, but
You do
I
too?
do again, yeah. And we have the little tape marks here that separate us,
Yes.
so people know that we're actually 6 feet apart.
Yeah,
But it's a completely different time.
yeah.
Where have you seen God at work in the midst of this storm?
Well, for me, it's when I needed to, I've asked for, the patients to not be so worried about my job. I prayed for safety for our family and us, to keep well. And then also for him to provide, because, all of a sudden I had no income. Or, it's not that much, but it's something. And no warning. It's one thing if you say, oh, I'm going to be off work for a month, and you plan for that. Anyway, so it's been unreal. Everything has just been fine. And then I just started getting unemployment, so it's even better. So we've been able to get some extra things that, like our septic tank pumped, really fun things like that. Things that are extra that
we were planning on doing anyway, but,
but now it's
postponed it.
no
But now
fun.
have become somewhat of a highlight in your
Yeah.
day-to-day
Yeah.
life. Like, hey, we're pumping this.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it has to be done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's good. What about you, Mr. Bill?
Well, what I'm seeing out and about here and while we're out a little bit going to the store, people seem to be a little more friendly. I mean, you see somebody on the street, you get a wave. If you pull out and maybe cut somebody off unintentionally, you don't hear the horn or the one, the salute. People are a little kinder right now.
I think people are looking for a way to help people. Like when we were at the store, I went in the store, he stayed in the car. I come back to the car, he's not there. I'm like, where? I called, where are you? He says, well, look up. Oh, he's right over in a car, a row over, helping some lady who had lost her keys. So, people are wanting to help,
Yeah.
and that's good.
Yeah.
I think the kindness, the way people ought to be treated all the time
Yeah.
are getting treated that way now, or vice versa. So people are more willing to help you, talk to you, where before you were, we won't go there, but it's better that way.
That's good.
Yeah, it's better.
To see a sense of community.
Yes.
And I don't know what will be the new norm as we emerge from this.
Who knows?
I know that through this platform we have people that join us from different states as they tune in. I think, there's a lot of us pastors have been talking about that community. What will we come back to? And I know before we got into this, we had talked about some of those opportunities, including I heard, hey, when we come back, maybe we should even have like a potluck or something. And we had, prior to that, for our church, we had Meet You at the Mall. And we had one feedback, food, and fellowship right before we went on a hiatus, which was that same thing, just fellowship and building community. And so I'm glad that you were able to make it in today and we were able to have a little bit of that, to have community. I know that there's going to be, as I've seen come to grow on Sundays, when I get done preaching, I see the ticker on the side and everybody communicating, and I can't wait to see. And because we get to film this a little bit early, you guys will still get a chance to participate while being on the channel. So
That's kind of weird.
this will be a weird one. I will still be there doing the live setup of it and those things, but to see you guys interact during that time will be fun. Well, how can we be praying for you right now? What's an area of prayer that we can be lifting up as a church family?
Well, I think continued health for our family, but I want to hear from people in our church family that need something, or if they need some help or prayer or whatever. I'm fine, I think. I don't really need anything. The Lord has blessed us in so many ways. I just want to be able to help anybody that needs help out there. And by the way, Shirley, your coffee pot is downstairs, ready to be used.
Hope you can hear us, Shirley.
Yeah. I just miss seeing everybody
Yeah.
from church, and you're the people that I want to pray for, continue to pray for, because I know there's people out there that are hurting,
Yeah.
need help,
Yeah.
and we're here, we can help. Call us, let us know, call us in the office, and if we can do something for you, it'll happen.
Great. Janet, anything to add?
I like he said, we're doing so well. It's wonderful. Just, like nagging in the back of my head is my job. So just that,
Yeah.
just that, and also when I do get to go back, that's when I'm going to need prayer, because everybody's going to be desperate, and they're all going to be the most important one. So, and I get it. So it's going to be hard, because I'll probably work extra, which is okay. And it's going to be busy, and I'm not,
My dinner might not be ready
Yeah.
on time, but you go back to work.
Those might be some of those times where you get to catch up on your fishing, Mr. Bill.
Oh, I don't know. I can't go back today, I guess.
No
I'm not a carpenter, but
yeah.
anyway, I'm glad they get to go back to work,
Yes.
and I pray everybody will get back to work
Yeah.
soon.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that I got a chance to spend a little bit of time. I feel like this whole thing has put all of us just on hold, but I'm glad that we're still leaning in and that we're trying to do the best we can. And I know, Mr. Bill, for us, you play a big role of that here at the church. And Janet, even as you get a chance to help lead worship and stuff at time to time, people just appreciate seeing your face. I know that when I was putting my list together, you guys were high on the list for people that they sure think the world of you from your church family. And
Thank
so from a pastor's heart, that is huge to be able to just know that there's people within the church body that people identify with, that they appreciate them, and that they see Christ alive in them. And that's huge. Whether that's the act of service or using your gifts and talents, you guys have found ways to continue to do that. And I'm excited for when we get back to be able to do some of those things. As we were told, it's not going to be a switch. It's more of a dial as we get these things through. But I'm really grateful that you guys were able to come in today, take the time, and I pray that this would be an encouragement for the rest of our church family and those that are watching, that they would see your faces, that they'd be inspired by what you're going through. And I know that you said things have been going good, but I think that that's all right. Like, I praise God for those moments, just like a testimony where you haven't had to walk through so many things. And don't think light of that. I know some people, even some of our church family that was caught overseas and stuff during this, and they, I think, probably struggle with the fact that they didn't have the same impact that everybody else had, or heard those tragic stories where people were passing away in nursing homes right here in our own yard, or they were shut down and locked in their house, and maybe they didn't have that same experience. But I think that it's where God has put each and every one of us. And so I was excited to do this and share this a little bit, because it's kind of like Paul. When Paul is writing these letters to Philippians, to Philippi, or Corinth and Corinthians, and he's talking out of even being in prison, and he's writing in the midst of these storms. And so you being able to share the fondness and just even that kind of Paul moment, I'm praying for you even though I'm not with you, is really cool for me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being my guest, being on the hot seat. Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you, so that I can keep inviting more people along to be a part of this. And so thank you so much for your ministry. Thank you for those couple of years that you've been here. And thank you for your faithfulness.
Thank you.